On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, I've handpicked another 5 crypto news stories for you today. I've also got a chart of the day for you, which will be XRP against the US dollar. The stories include the all-new Brave browser, which is now ready for download. BitMEX are going to create a new software client to compete with Bitcoin Core. I've created my first ever Augur prediction market. It's now live if you want to participate. The Hungarian central bank has just increased its gold reserves by 1,000%, and the upgrade to the Monero blockchain to integrate bulletproofs has been completed successfully. So timestamps for all of that is in the video description if you want to skip ahead to any particular story. And if you're new around here and you don't know about the way to get paid in crypto for watching the show and getting rid of ads, well, just head over to the website. It's thecryptoverse.show. You can click on this big blue button that says get paid to watch, and then there's a 2-minute explainer video that will explain how you can watch the Cryptoverse without ads and get paid in crypto. Sounds too good to be true, but I can assure you it's true. So let's get into the news, shall we? The all-new Brave browser has launched. I've spoke about this before, but it's now been officially launched and announced by Brave themselves as of yesterday, October the 18th. So the new Brave browser is 22% faster than the previous version, if it wasn't fast enough already. And this was the previously experimental developer version of the Brave browser. I spoke about this in previous videos and invited you to download it if you didn't mind a few bugs, but this is now released for regular users. Now, when I downloaded this new version, I got 25 basic attention tokens deposited into my browser so that I could start immediately tipping creators and rewarding sites that I was blocking ads on. So this is like a grant. It just automatically deposits 25 tokens, which is worth about $5.25. So if you decide to download this new version of the Brave browser, let me know in the comments below if you get these tokens as well. And then if you get them, you can donate them to me if you like. Unfortunately, after playing with this browser for a little while, I still can't bring myself to make it my default browser because I use this thing called the TTS reader, which is text-to-speech reader. It's a Chrome extension, and while Brave, the new version of the Brave browser, it does work with the free version of this extension because you can just get it from the App Store. It does work, but I've got the premium version of this, and Brave just won't let me access it for some reason. You have to log in with your Google account, and I just can't get it to work. So until that's working, I just can't bring myself to do it. I need the text-to-speech reader, which is one of the ways that I am able to troll through, like, on average about 50 stories a day to get it down to the 5 that I think is worth you paying attention to. So little insights behind the scenes of the Cryptoverse there. But go ahead, download the Brave browser, check it out, let me know in the comments below if you like it and if you get the free 25 basic attention tokens. Next story. BitMEX research to create a new client to compete with Bitcoin Core. This kind of sounds like a bombshell. So you know BitMEX, the most liquid exchange in the world, famous for their derivatives market, for being able to short Bitcoin, long Bitcoin, do margin trades, all that sort of thing. So their research department, as of a few days ago, has announced that they have decided to begin a research project where they will create a competing software implementation of Bitcoin. Now, it says compete, but I don't believe they're intending to do this contentiously. For example, I've highlighted a key bit here, which you may have just seen in the orange. It says, we also discuss some common misconceptions, and here's the key bit. It says, we will explain that if the Bitcoin Core repository becomes hijacked by nefarious actors or depleted or deleted, Bitcoin should be largely unaffected. So that's one of the things they're going to prove, that if somehow Bitcoin Core lost access to their GitHub, or someone logged in and deleted the whole code base or whatever, well, that should be fine. Bitcoin will not go down as a result, right? Another misconception here is that Bitcoin Core have a stranglehold on Bitcoin's development. And the misconception is that they are a central point of failure. Well, BitMEX intends to challenge that belief. If you're on BitMEX mailing list, like I am, you will have no doubt seen and experienced their very high quality research articles that they put together periodically. They're quite long, so you do need to have a reasonable attention span to absorb them. and this article is no exception. So I invite you to read it yourself, because this isn't like a regular news story where you can just read the headline and pretty much get 80% of what you need to know. This is a much deeper issue. So like I said, the bottom line is that BitMEX are doing this to overcome criticism from people outside the crypto space, rather than trying to take control of more territory inside the crypto space, right? So they say explicitly here that they are planning to embark on this for what they call illustrative purposes only, they say. So this will ultimately reduce anxiety levels in the Bitcoin space, especially any that comes from concern as to what would happen if, like I said a moment ago, someone hacked into the GitHub account of Bitcoin Core and then just deleted all the Bitcoin source code. So BitMEX intends to demonstrate that Bitcoin just doesn't work like that. On to the next story. My first ever Augur prediction market is now live. I've finally got the Augur software synced and I created my first market. So here it is, live on Augur. It's related to the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, which is just the first thing that came to mind and something I've been watching a bit of recently. I'm quite a big fan of Conor McGregor, so I created a prediction market that's like, will Conor McGregor fight Khabib Nurmagomedov again before the end of 2018? So you may notice there, if I go back to the market, that the address in the address bar, which you can't actually see on my screen share, it looks a bit funny because it's referencing my local Augur node. So the address starts with an IP address, which is 127.0.0.1, which is like local machine. So the reason that is because I'm running the Augur core software right now on this very computer, and then I'm looking inside my own computer, right? So, however, you don't need to run the full software to be able to browse the Augur network. There's a website that allows you to browse all of the Augur markets directly on the web. So that is predictions.global. And in the video description will be a link to this page, which is the page looking directly at my market. So you'll see what the name of it is. You can link to it all directly on the market. You can see all the parameters and when it starts, when it ends, and yada, 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 okay? Right now, based on the prediction market, there's a 60% chance that Conor McGregor will fight Khabib Nurmagomedov by the end of 2018. Cool. As reported by the prediction market, predicting the future. Unfortunately, though, if we go over to DApp Radar, we will find out that Augur ranks number 76 with just 27 users in the last 24 hours. That does not bode well for my prediction market being very successful, because that's 27 users shared between all the prediction markets on the entire Augur network. That's not going to work. So this experiment cost me about $100 in combination of Ethereum fees. I had to spend some rep tokens, I had to spend some gas and so on. But I'm happy I did this because I feel the most confidence when reporting to you when I've actually got some direct experience of something. Unless I've done the experiment myself in my own experience, I can't categorically say this is true. And in this case, I can because I've got direct experience of it. So at this point, I can't see Augur taking off. Not within the next year anyway. So if you're invested in the rep token yourself, I would strongly encourage you to repeat this experiment yourself. Get a direct experience of what it's like setting up an Augur node, installing it, syncing it, and then setting up a prediction market. If you go through all the steps and see what's necessary for users of this system to go through in order to get to the stage that I've got through, and then for people to actually bet on the prediction markets, you'll decide whether, you think this is a good hodl or not, right? I'm just gagging for someone to duplicate Augur on the EOS blockchain, but you probably already knew that. On to the next story. Hungarian central bank announces a tenfold increase in their gold reserves. This was reported by Zero Hedge, but their article is based on an actual press release from the Hungarian central bank. Now, Hungary is not the first to begin building up their gold reserves. However, I would say they're the first to do it overtly. Usually countries do it covertly, right? Secretly. They do it as secretly as possible because they don't want to move the gold market before they've got all their gold in. I mean, they published this press release. So They absolutely want everyone to know that they've done this. And of course, they didn't publish the press release until they'd finished. So the Hungarian central bank, it says here, has not altered its gold reserves since 1986. I was 3. I was 3 years old in 1986. So up until recently, they had 3.1 tons of gold. That's now increased to 31.5 tons. And they've taken physical delivery of it. Very interesting. They want it inside their borders. So this is the most gold that Hungary has held in over 70 years, which is why it's making news. But here's my favorite part of the press release, though. You can see this on the article itself in orange, but I'm going to read it out to you anyway. It's right at the bottom of the press release here, which is tiny, so I may as well just read it to you. Quote, gold is still considered to be one of the world's safest assets, whose characteristics can be attributed to gold's unique properties, such as finite supply of physical gold and the lack of credit and counterparty risk, given that gold is not a claim against a specific partner or country. Close quote. Ding, ding, ding. No counterparty risk. What's the only other asset class that has that characteristic? Crypto. On to the next story. According to everything I've seen, the Monero hard fork went very well indeed. There is one article I managed to find out about this on the Oracle Times. Monero becomes the first billion-dollar coin with bulletproof technology for reduced costs and 80% smaller transaction size. When you read it like that, with bulletproof technology, it sounds like an accolade. No, it's actually called bulletproofs, right? It's a cryptographic technology, bulletproofs. But it's also a clever name, because it's good marketing, isn't it? So I mentioned recently that Monero developers were about to upgrade the Monero network to use bulletproofs. That's now happened. So as a result, the size of transactions in terms of the file size has reduced dramatically, and fees, transaction fees, have also dropped dramatically. So also one thing that seems to have slipped by me up until now is that Ledger hardware wallets now support Monero. I was looking out for that for a long time, and it was only when I was researching this story that I found out that you can now protect your Monero holdings with your Ledger hardware wallet. So the way you do this is if you download the Monero core software, one of the steps when you're setting it up is like, how do you want to create your new wallet? And you can select to create a new wallet using a hardware wallet, the Ledger specifically. So if you browse the Ledger Manager software, which is where you install the various apps on the device itself, there is now a Monero app that you can install on the Ledger device. I've done that, right? I'm in the process of setting up the actual node itself. I've already got the app on the Ledger hardware wallet itself, so I know that's true. And now I'm just working out how to get it to talk to the Monero core software. First few attempts have been unsuccessful, but I'm getting on with it. So I've been saying for the last year that as soon as Monero is supported by Ledger, I will start increasing my Monero holdings. That is now what I intend to do. Okay, that's everything in terms of the news. Now let's move on to the chart of the day. XRP against the US dollar. Heading over to the price, well, it's on Bitfinex. You know, we shouldn't really be using the Bitfinex price feeds, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I'm prepared for. XRP has cleared this channel, which is demarcated by my horizontal dotted line. You see back here from, what are the dates here? From mid-August, actually most of August, Ripple was stuck between, I shouldn't say Ripple, XRP was stuck between 42 cents and 45 cents. That was sort of the channel here. It cleared the top of that channel, and then if you look more closely at the last few days price action, I need to stretch this a bit to make it more visible, but it's now holding above this 80-day moving average and this 45-cent horizontal line of support. So that, taking all my analysis into account, I should probably share with you that yesterday I increased my position in XRP. I bought some XRP with Bitcoin. Actually, not strictly true. I took some British pounds, I bought some Bitcoin, moved it to Binance, bought some XRP, and then removed it to my Ledger hardware wallet. So what I'm doing there is I'm actually targeting the previous high, which is about 70 cents. You see this horizontal dotted line up here? If I zoom out, you'll see that's the previous swing high there, where my horizontal ray begins. So I'm buying down here 45 cents-ish with a target of 70 cents. I'll probably pull out 69 cents, 69.5 cents, because I want to get out before it hits the top rather than, waiting for it to pull back, okay? But there we jolly well go. That is all I've got for you today. So if you liked this episode, please hit the like button. If you disliked it, well, you can hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And once again, if you would like to get paid in crypto for watching the show and get rid of adverts, head over to the website, thecryptoverse.show. Click on this big blue button that says Get Paid to Watch, and that will tell you all about it. Other than that, I'll be back with the next episode of the Cryptoverse. But until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.